Edinburgh Castle, dramatically crowning the extinct volcanic plug of Castle Rock and dominating the skyline of Scotland's capital, is one of Europe's most iconic strongholds and a living chronicle of more than 2 millennia of human history, rising from prehistoric beginnings to modern national symbolism in a single site. Archaeological evidence indicates that the summit of Castle Rock was fortified as early as the Iron Age, around the 2nd century BC, when tribal peoples took advantage of its sheer cliffs for defense. But its recorded history begins in the 7th century with references to a fortress called Din Idin, a Brythonic name later anglicized to Edinburgh, and it enters the medieval record fully in the 12th century when King David I established a royal castle there, transforming the ancient hilltop into the principal seat of the Scottish monarchy. From that point onward, the castle became Scotland's foremost fortress, treasury, and administrative center, playing a central role in almost every major national crisis and conflict. It withstood, endured, or fell to repeated sieges, most famously during the Wars of Scottish Independence in the late 13th and early 14th centuries, when it changed hands several times between Scottish and English forces and became a symbol of resistance to English occupation. Its buildings reflected the growth of royal power, including the construction of the small but beautiful St. Margaret's Chapel, the oldest surviving structure in Edinburgh, the Great Hall for ceremonies and councils, and the royal apartments where, in 1566, Mary, Queen of Scots, gave birth to James VI, who would later inherit the English throne as James I and unite the crowns of Scotland and England in 1603. After the union of the crowns, the castle's role as a royal residence declined, but its strategic and symbolic importance did not. Over the next centuries, it evolved into a heavily armed garrison, arsenal, and state prison, holding Jacobite rebels as well as French, American, and Dutch prisoners of war, and safeguarding Scotland's regalia, the honors of Scotland, and the ancient Stone of Destiny, enduring emblems of national sovereignty still displayed there today. Its medieval defenses were reshaped to meet the demands of gunpowder warfare. Bastions and batteries were added, and its high position above the expanding city gave it a commanding role in the Reformation, the Cromwellian occupation, the Jacobite risings, and the Napoleonic Wars. By the 19th century, its military function began to wane, and interest grew in preserving its historic fabric. Restoration projects revived key interiors such as the Great Hall, and the castle's symbolic role deepened as Scotland's national consciousness flourished. In the modern era, Edinburgh Castle has been conserved as a national monument, museum complex, and ceremonial site, renowned for the daily firing of the 1 o'clock gun, the National War Museum of Scotland housed within its walls, and the spectacular Royal Edinburgh military tattoo staged on its esplanade each summer. Today, it stands not merely as a collection of medieval and later buildings, but as Scotland's most visited historic attraction, an architectural masterpiece and repository of treasures, and above all, a living symbol of the nation's turbulent past, resilience, and enduring identity, linking the kings of the Picts and Scots, the medieval Stuart dynasty, and the modern Scottish state in one continuous story atop its rock. Thanks watching the history.